right, how to get absolutely dialed in 2025, right? This is a proven system to maximize your productivity and make sure you absolutely crush your goals this year and actually do the things that you set out for yourself that you said you were going to do, right? So like I said, it's a simple 3-step system starting with step 1, which is clarity and purpose, right? So having clarity and purpose is the most important thing, right? You need to have goals. If you don't know where you're headed, if you don't know the destination, it's going to be very hard to get there, right? Imagine you open up Google Maps and you don't put in any, you don't know where you're going, and you just get in the car and you just drive, right? And you expect to end up at the right place, right? You're probably not going to end up at the right place if you don't have a destination in mind, right? So it's so important to have clear goals. So set out those, take time out of your day today to literally sit down, write down, okay, what do I want, right? What are my goals for the new year, right? Why is this important to me, right? And just like get very clear on the goals that you have, right? And give yourself, and also get clear on like your purpose, right? And the reason that you have to chase those goals, right? Because it's not going to be easy, right? You're going to have to do things, right? If you're getting absolutely dialed, like you're going to be waking up super early, 5, 6 a.m., right? You're going to be hitting gym, right? You're going to be doing all these things. You're going to be working super hard and putting a lot of hours into building your business. And if you don't have a reason behind why you're doing the things that you're doing, then it's going to be very difficult. And when it comes time to slack off, it's going to be a lot easier to slack off because you don't have a true purpose, right? But if you have clear goals and you have a reason to chase them, right, you get very clear on who you're helping with your business, right, why you're helping them, what problem you're helping them to solve, and why that's important to you specifically. Maybe you face that problem yourself in your own life, whatever it is, just get super clear on your goals, where you want to go, and why you want to do it, right, and why those things are important to you. And once you have those things, then you can work backwards from here and understand what steps you need to take, right? So for example, let's say you have an agency running social media marketing ads for gyms, right? So you run meta ads for gyms, right? And your goal is to scale to 10K per month, right? You can very easily break that goal down into not just having that like output-based goal of like, yeah, I want 10K months, but you can break it down into inputs. You know, if you know, okay, well, if I do 100 cold calls per day, I'm getting 2 meetings booked. Out of every 2 meetings, I'm closing one person, right? And that one person, let's say we close them for 2K a month, right? It's very simple. That means you need 5 clients to get to 10K a month, which means you just need to do 500 cold calls. Example, again, it might take a lot longer than that, especially if you're getting started. But having those ideas where you can break down the numbers and just make it like, you know, like into like a step-by-step plan, that allows you to implement the next step in the system, which is structure, right? Once you have clarity on where you're headed and the habits and the things that you need to implement to get to that goal, whether that's fitness related, you know, you can break down that. On the fitness side of things, if you know how many calories you need to eat per day, right, and like you know your macros and all that stuff, you can break that down and create a structure for yourself, right? Structure is the next step. It's so important, right? You have these habits. Okay, I need to do cold calls. I need to take sales calls. I need to, you know, get good at, you know, actually delivering the service. Whatever those things are for you, the things that are really going to generate you money and move things forward in the business. Then once you have those habits in mind, you want to actually like create a structure for yourself to follow, right? And actually block this out in your day to day. So, you know, I use Google Calendar. I have everything blocked out to a T. At 6 a.m. I wake up. At 10 past 6, I start doing my morning reflection journaling, right? Then I go to the gym and I work out. If I don't go to the gym, I'll go to the beach, to the calisthenics park. Then I'll go to the beach. I'll record stories while I'm there for my Instagram. While I'm there, I will then go for a swim after my calisthenics workout. I'll come back. I'll dive straight into some deep work, right? Like I have everything blocked out to a T from like the time that I wake up to the times that I'm going to eat, the times that I'm going to work out, the times that I'm going to work on each different business that I have. All these things are all mapped out very clearly, right, in my Google Calendar, right? So use your calendar, schedule out your days, give yourself a structure to follow, right? Like act like a professional, right? If you're going to be an entrepreneur, then you need to actually carry yourself like a professional. And that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs don't do, right? They only care about the freedom side of things. And they're like, oh, but if my day is completely structured out, then I feel like a robot. I'm not going to be, you know, free to do the things I want to do, right? It's like, okay, do you want the goals or not? If you want to get after the goals, if you want to get it done, then this is how you have to operate like a professional. You got to treat it like a job. And, you know, obviously you can treat it like a job. You can work hard, super, super hard, but you still have the freedom. You don't have to, you know, there might come a day where you feel like, okay, well, I want to go do something with my friends today. Absolutely fine, right? Then you can clear that day on your calendar and go do something, right? That's the power of being able to be your own boss, being able to be free. It's so important, but give yourself a structure and make sure that you're sticking to it at least 95% of the time, right? If something comes up that's super important and you feel like, okay, I can catch up on the work another day, or I can do this and that, right? That's up to you. That's absolutely fine. But just like the most important thing is that you're acting like a professional. You're carrying yourself like a professional moving into 2025. And if you really want to smash this out, then you need to carry yourself like a professional, right? Have your day scheduled out, right? Don't just like wake up in the morning and think, oh, what will I do now, all right? Because if you leave it up to chance, you're either going to get nothing done or you're just going to not be as productive because you don't have a time set for yourself. Like, okay, I'm going to do this for this long. And then it's just like, oh, well, I can do that later. Let me maybe work on this right now. And if you don't have clarity, then it's very easy to just like, switch between tasks, and that really messes you up as well. Like task switching is one of the biggest things that will kill your productivity. Give yourself time, focus on one task. So this is my recording task right now. I've just recorded a bunch of videos, right? And this is all scheduled out in my calendar. So important. And that leads us to the final step in this 3-step system, which is accountability, right? You need accountability to force you to stick to that structure, right? If you don't have accountability, then it's easy for you to slack off, right? And the best way to do this is to surround yourself with like-minded guys, right? Other guys that are on the same mission as you, that have similar goals, that are in a similar situation, that are already doing well in their business, right? Get around guys like that if you can, right? And there's a bunch of ways you can do this. I made a video about this literally just 2 days ago. You can go and check that out. Watch that video after this one. But yeah, this is the most powerful thing you can do, right? If you're around other guys that are killing it, right, and they're sharing wins, right, they're, like doing so well, it's so inspirational, right? If like I have friends of mine that are making 20K in a day, right, making 200K a month, whatever it is, if I hear that from them, or like I just texted one of my friends the last day, I was like, hey man, we're going to Bali in March if you want to pull through. And he was like, oh, I'm in a building phase right now. I'll come back when I'm at 5 million, right? Guy's already doing 7 figures, and he's just locked in to get to that 5 million goal. And yeah, then he texted me, next message was like, yeah, actually I'm at an Alex Hormozi scaling event in Vegas right now, right? Little things like that, just being around that, it's like, okay, it just reframes your mindset of like what you need to do, where you need to be focused, and how much work needs to go in to really build something amazing, right? So things like that, super powerful, right? Getting around other like-minded guys, especially if it's in a close proximity, like we do a lot of things, like I'm going to be going to Bali with the boys, but I'm going to be living with other entrepreneurs, other like-minded guys, so that we can really hold each other accountable, make sure that we're smashing our goals, make sure that we're hitting the wake-up time, make sure that we're hitting those hard workouts, right? We're doing our morning reflections, so we're staying on top of the things that are important for us to do to get to that next level, right? And having that accountability when you're living with guys like that, absolute game changer, right? And I understand a lot of you might not be in a position where you can just fly to Bali and get that sorted and just live that life, or you don't have those people even if you wanted to, right? Maybe you're making a bunch of money, but you don't have those people around you, right? That's another problem for another day. But if you don't have those people, you don't have access to that right now, or you can't just get up and move country, then you can use the internet, right? You can use the power of the internet to hold you accountable, right? Like for example, the last 27 days, I've been posting my wake up time on my story and just vlogging my day basically on my Instagram story on my main account, right? I was uncomfortable doing this at first. There's people from my hometown there that like don't know this entrepreneurial version of me. And, obviously they're going to see it, but it's like, that's even more of a reason for me to have to be accountable, to just say on the story, hey, for the next 30 days, I'm going to be waking up at 6 a.m., going to be hitting these workouts, I'm going to be doing this, and this, and I'm going to document it here on Instagram. And then, there's like that social pressure for you to actually stick to it and, stay on top of it. And actually, if you're documenting your journey, it just helps you to have that accountability without necessarily having those like-minded people with you in person. Super powerful. I know a lot of you won't do this, even though I'm telling you it's life-changing. You're not going to do it because you're scared of the opinions of other people. Absolutely fine. I understand that. I've been there myself. But find some way to document your journey. You can start a new account fresh, post on TikTok, post on YouTube, right? If you're posting content like this, then of course I have to be a good leader, and I have to show up for the audience, and I have to be on my shit, right? And that is so powerful. It's so important. And that is the 3rd step in this 3-step system to help you absolutely lock in and finally hit your goals for 2025. Let's absolutely get it. If you got some value in this video, make sure you subscribe.